Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and thank you to our witnesses for attending this very important meeting today. And, we really talk about the need for balanced trade, and looking at this relationship with China, but also with the Americans. And Mr. Herman, I'll start with you. You finished it. Can you just let the committee know just a little bit about the current relationship with the U.S. and the Canadians when it comes to trade, and specifically if you can speak about the recent almost doubling of softwood lumber tariffs and the digital sales tax and what they're bringing up as concerns on that?
Oh, those are good questions. Look, in a major trading relationship like the one we have with the Americans, there will always be disputes and disagreements, and softwood lumber is one of those. It's just a fact of life that the U.S. industry is well organized, deep pocketed, and they can keep this dispute going as long as they want. The only way to deal with softwood lumber is to have a separate agreement with the Americans settling this matter. There will always be these kinds of differences. The point I make is that in the large scheme of things, it is important for Canada, Mexico, and the United States to work together to deal with major international concerns such as the Chinese aggressive trade actions. So as part of a trilateral trade agreement, one of the largest, if not the largest trade relationship in the world, we should work together with our trading partners. And look, to be frank, I don't think it's a secret. Everybody on the committee will know this. Our trade with the United States is our dominant interest when it comes to international trade. And so we have to work closely with them, notwithstanding, Mr. Williams, notwithstanding the differences we might have in discrete, separate subject areas.
And just from your expertise right now, is that relationship better or worse, given the fact that, yes, softwood lumber is going for a while, but we just doubled the tariffs? And they're bringing up issues that are affecting trade, and they're talking about the digital sales tax is affecting a trading relationship. Is that making that relationship worse?
Is it making it worse? Look, there'll always be tensions in certain areas. We have an agreement, and the agreement provides for the resolution of those disputes through a third-party settlement process. We'll have to work that out. The Americans will...
Thank you so much, sir. I only have so much time. Mr. Warren, we talked about the steel industry and aluminum. You talked about a broader sense of 600,000 workers. How many workers are just in the steel industry, directly or indirectly?
Meg might help me with that answer, but directly in the steel industry for our union alone, probably close to 20,000. And that's talking our members, our locations. And then obviously the downstream, all the shops around it to support it, the maintenance work. So you're talking 100,000 jobs or more.
So 100,000 jobs, good paychecks in Canada in these industries. We talk about obviously the EV and the steel and aluminum industries from China. And you did talk about dumping of those industries and how that was going to affect it. You had a large number. Maybe you talked about 19 to 38%. How many jobs would be threatened if steel is continually dumped, if we don't have these the tariffs in place on aluminum and steel and EVs? How many of those jobs would be threatened of those 20?
I would suggest to you, if we don't figure it out, every job will be under threat. Because it comes down to investment, and if again you can't sell your steel, there's no premium on green steel right now, even though we produce some of the greenest steel in the world. There's no premium in the marketplace for green steel. So if we don't put in tariffs to help these manufacturers so they invest, what's a nation without a steel industry? What about all the good jobs, the communities they create? And I will tell you, the last point I'll make is if we're not able to stop our porous borders with foreign steel being dumped in, because at the end of the day, it leaks into the U.S., and our greatest trade partner, especially with steel, is the U.S. And I assume their patience are running thin if we cannot kind of look after our borders, and foreign steel continues to leak into their country. very, very concerned about that.
Thank you, sir. And something else that we've been hearing from some of the producers as well is which is affecting this, is also the carbon tax. Is the carbon tax going to increase the cost for the steel industry? And if so, how many jobs are being thrown out of that?
Well, right now, I think it's too early to say how many jobs. I think, from my perspective, there is no doubt about it that steel producers should not be let scot-free around creating the green economy or continuing to grow within the green economy. I am somewhat concerned how it ramps up with the steel industry. So we're having a harder look at that right now. And we're trying to see if they need a bit of a carve out, a bit of a runway so the technology can catch up with them. The investments can catch up with our steel industry. But it's clear to say they shouldn't be let off the hook. But I am concerned right now the way it ramps up, if it is that we need a closer look at it to see how it impacts investment.
And are you asking then for a pause? Is that something you're asking for?
No, not directly. We were reaching out to some of the parties to have the discussion. I was with the steel producers a couple months ago. We talked to all three parties about it, made them aware of it, and again, we're hopeful that as we continue down this path to figure out a solution that works for our environment, our children, our
Thank you very
grandchildren.
much, sir. I'm sorry I have to interrupt for 20 seconds.